Hi everybody, it's Alex Newton from K-lytics with the Kindle market trends for August 2015. So let's have a look. These are a couple of highlights from our August 2015 report. We are now covering in the basic version 30 main Amazon categories. If we look at the average sales rank, the sales volume of the top 100 titles across the 30 categories, we see that the situation is pretty stable. Literature and fiction is clearly outselling non-fiction here in the dark gray shaded area, and romance, mystery, thriller, suspense, science fiction, teen and young adult continue to lead the way. If we compare fiction versus non-fiction on Kindle, we see that the situation for fiction here in the top 100 is very stable. It's up there. It's the #1 umbrella category. Non-fiction, as you see, well, it's still high up there with an average sales rank here between 600 and 480 for the top 100 titles. But as you see, it's much more volatile and also influenced by seasonal factors. Talking seasonality, let's have a look at one or two particular observations in the data. We picked here one non-fiction category. This is crafts, hobbies, and home. And this is now about a 1-year data set. We are now here, this is data end of July 2015. The average sales rank across the top 100 is around 10,000. A year ago, in July 2014, the same number was around 8,000. So overall, the category seems to have lost a little bit compared to a year ago. But what I actually wanted to point out is the seasonality. So you see there are two peaks. One is in November. There's data end of November and December. And the other one is here in February. So on the left-hand side, you see here this slight uptick here from June to July, then it's about 3 months flat, and then here October, November, this is where all the crafts, hobbies, home, getting prepared for Christmas type of books seem to get published. Now here we have this year the same little uptick here, June to July, so we probably, if this behaves the same way as last year, another 2-3 months here of a flat, and then it's probably going to go up as expected. So if you are into the non-fiction craft, hobbies and home area, Christmas books, books for the season, this is really the time to get prepared and get everything in place so that you can ride on the wave. And I will be doing a special analysis for our K-lytics Premium and Elite members, where we have a look at the database from last year to find out what specific topics and titles caused the peak in November and December, November last year, so that we can replicate the trend this year. Another genre which shows a similar pattern, not quite the same, but similar, self-help overall. Also the same peaks here, one in November and one in February. Now, what is interesting on self-help, if we look at the price levels over the same period of time, which is this graph here, from June 2014 to July 2015, we see that in that very month where we had the peak in sales, November 2014, the prices for the genre dropped significantly, down to an average price of $5.31 across the top 100 bestsellers in the genre. And what is noticeable, though, is that despite here the second peak in February, that was not induced by any price measures. In fact, the whole genre, whilst the sales, if we go to the previous graph, seem to go down here over this period from February to July this year, the prices, by contrast, have gone up. So I think this is good news, and my personal interpretation is that we see a bit of a shift from, say, no offense taken, junk titles to more quality type of titles. So back to our monthly report, in which genres did we see the biggest rise or drop across the top 100 titles versus the prior month? Well, we saw the steepest rise in mystery, thriller and suspense. Here an improvement by 20%, followed by sports and outdoors 9%, business and money titles 4%. On the other end of the spectrum, we see that history books, health, fitness and dieting and non-fiction lost quite a bit of ground versus last month. Let's pick one of those genres and have a look how it behaved over a longer period of time. This month we selected here teen and young adult, genre that seems to be regaining share. If we look here, the one-year development, you see that from June 2014 to December, it dropped a bit in autumn, then it rose up to average sales rank of 480 in February this year, and then there was a pretty steep drop in March 2015. And now we see a slow upward trend in the genre, so slowly recovering here teen and young adult titles. Another factor to look at is the degree of competition in the genres. Sales is only one side of the equation. The question is with how many other titles are you competing. Now, on a genre level, we see here that non-fiction, we now reached about 1.5 million English-speaking titles. Literature and fiction is about 900,000. And then if you go down the list, or actually up the list here, the very competitive genres are shown at the bottom of the graph. Now, religion and spirituality, quite remarkable. This month, 329,839 titles in the genre, followed by romance and children's ebooks. And if we look, where have we seen the biggest influx in book supply? So what is the change of number of titles versus last month? So this month we saw here, also again look at the bottom of the graph, this is where we show the biggest numbers. We saw a continued influx of new titles in comics and graphic novels, probably also attributable to the fact that the Kindle Fire device is gaining share, so it has become easier to publish and distribute fixed format comic and graphic novel type of titles. And also here an above average increase in titles in teen and young adult, with a 4.3% rise in the number of titles versus the prior month. One word about the required effort to write books in the various genres as expressed by the average number of book pages per the top 100 titles. Now, these numbers reflect the so-called Amazon estimated page length that you find on each of the book's information pages. Now, this is the status, and you can look this up in the free report. Now, we had a closer look at page length in our free royalty seminar series. For those of you who haven't watched it yet, go to K-lytics.com, K-lytics with a hyphen /royalty-seminar, where you can sign up and watch the 4 parts for free. Now, in the new royalty system, page length is quite a factor. In that seminar, we looked at the development of the average page length on Kindle, and we saw that it has lost about 8% in about a year's time, and 5% since the launch of Kindle Unlimited, the old system. Now, we know that under the new system, shorter books get punished. An interesting thing happened this month. Now, we would have expected that the average page length, the trend goes back up again, at least a little bit, because many people argued authors of very short books, pull it out of KDP Select. And that may very well be the case. However, in the top bestseller list, Burroughs and that effect does not seem to have such a big effect. In fact, what happened is, if we look at this month and add this month's data, the average page length further dropped from 293 now here to 287 pages per book. So it will be interesting to see how this whole thing will further develop under the new royalty system for Burroughs under Kindle Unlimited and Amazon Prime. So stay tuned. As always, no need to take notes. You can download your free report if you're not a member yet at K-lytics.com/free report, free report with a hyphen. And if you're interested to learn more and get the same type of data analysis for more than 400 subgenres and in the meantime 2,400 sub-niches on Amazon Kindle, come have a look at K-lytics.com. That's K-lytics.com. Hope to see you next time. Stay tuned. This is Alex Newton from K-lytics, ebook market intelligence for success.